Welcome back for another episode of 10-Minute Drawing Techniques, or rather, my goodness, it looks like I've already taken about 40 minutes of your lifetime. So I'm going to try and, let's just get back to it. Okay. So anyway, earlier on we were just adding shadowing. And these shadow borders that I keep drawing, and these are basically saying wherever the plane is turning. I made a mistake. Now by varying the line width by using hard lines here, I can see wherever there is a shape cutting in front of another shape. It helps add some depth. So I don't like the way that's going. But that looks alright, I guess. And these lines, they're just facets. The areas that sometimes I don't know why, but my stylus does that. It gets blobby. Evil blob monsters, stop! And I'm just adding lines wherever I see this concave. You know, you can pull a line inwards. See that? And pull the line inwards, and then just now I can make these. I can add a lot of detail as things get closer, and use less and less detail when things are further away. Side effect of adding detail is sometimes, you know, it can either attract or it can dissuade the eye, make the eye, you know, run away from detail. And the other thing about detail is it can point us towards things. It can point the eye in different directions. So in the case of these lines, they tend to, when you look at these lines here, they push your point of view over to the side. You know, this whole cliff face, the whole shape of it, you know, it almost forms into an arrow that points you up. You know, all these little chunks of rock sticking out of the water. Actually, one thing that kind of annoys me is that this is the same height as that is the same height as that. So I'm just gonna, you know, nothing sacred, man. I'm gonna bust off some of these, and that's the same height as that. So I'm gonna go and make it just a little bit different. There. Make it a little more naturalistic. You know, even these little, all these points, they all point up at the lighthouse. The lighthouse is, you know, is really the focus. We've just managed to poke, you know, the tree is just pointing, you know, your view to the lighthouse. And, you know, you even have the shadow in a way, it's, you know, everything is pointing towards this central bit of interest. So I guess we're going to have some, let's see, you're going to have some waves crashing up against the shoreline. And so the thing is that the waves are themselves, they're still three-dimensional forms. So let's see, which way would the water come in? The water's going to be coming in off into the distance, and it's going to strike in that direction. And this direction is where the waves are going to hit. So the waves are a 3D form themselves, as I was saying earlier. So let's have some of the waves smacking off of, there we go. There. And allow the, see, these are forming obstacles. These protrusions, they form obstacles, and the water flows around them. And the waves themselves are three-dimensional forms. So they have a front edge to them that catches shadow. I'm unfortunately not too good at drawing water. Have to allow the water to also flow up and around this object as well. So having to have some of the water crash up around this submerged object. Let me just eliminate that. Okay. Vegetation, yes. Vegetation can... Simple vegetation that you're not going to research. I know they always say you should research. If you don't have any idea what to do, sometimes it's just good enough to use radial scribbles. But if you're looking for variety, you're looking for something that looks real, then research. Go visit some places and look at the plants. Take some photographs. Lots of plants to be found on Google. Images.google.com. Find out what grows there, and then you can figure out what kind of plants to populate your landscape with. Maybe somewhere back there it has some trees as well. This doesn't look so barren. It's a big mass. I'll let that area stay lit. Here's another area that's lit. Dark, light, you know, just getting that pattern to form. And more vegetation. There's a certain level in which I actually don't put any vegetation in these areas because the water keeps crashing up against it and it keeps washing away the seeds. Some plants are actually meant to take that kind of abuse, but you might find that certain plants grow at different elevations depending on the conditions that they are under. Some of them don't like the salt water. These are good reasons to research, and they'll help you make some of the decisions. Figure out, gee, where should I put this plant? Where should I put that plant? What kind of plants will I make? Every creation, every background that you create, you have to make decisions. And the research is there to help you make those good, educated decisions rather than arbitrary decisions which always appear kind of fake, like what I'm doing right now. Well, we got about a minute to go, so I'm going to wrap this up. Just some more tree. Let that one go dark. Dark light, dark light. Dark. I think that's pretty much good enough. Spent about 40 minutes on this background. Only a line drawing as well, but that's a nice little composition, I guess.